Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm home now from Worlds, and I just wanted to make a little video again on mentality, how important that is, and give some props to all the competitors who've been competing in the last year or so, the last trailing year during the pandemic, because it's really an indicator of your grit and where your heart's at. And I remember it first hit before I did Dallas last year, and I just see since then there's all these excuses made if everything's just not perfect. Oh, the gym's closed, or I can't get the exact food I want, or this or that. And it's kind of deeper than that. I think it just is a mentality. And if everything's not perfect, then people throw in the towel, and they've just become so soft that they don't, I've posted about this before, but it's like, when I was young, when I was a teenager, I didn't have any of this stuff. I didn't have supplements at all. I didn't know what to do with them. I got some clumpy protein powder, and sometimes I'd drink it before or after workout, but I had no idea. It wasn't about that. I just liked to go in the gym. I had this super old high school that I worked out at, and just did the powerlifting stuff, and it sucks. I mean, it's not a good, nice commercial gym. But I just liked the way it made me feel, and I just wanted to see progress. I wanted to get stronger. I wanted to get stronger all the time. And, to be honest, before Dallas, I remember, being in my garage, just doing push-ups and pull-ups, and finally I got my hands on a set of bands, and I had one 35-pound dumbbell. And it kind of brought me back to that earlier state of mind, and I was not complaining or sad about it. It kind of excited me, to be honest, and I was just doing these things that I hadn't done for a very long time, like hundreds of push-ups and pull-ups, and grabbing just random odd weight and squatting with it and balancing that and deadlifting that and just doing all this weird stuff, using the bands to just squeeze the shit out of every muscle and just force blood in there and pump it up. And it works like crazy because it's a shock to your body. But, I just did want to give props to everybody who's competed, all the guys at Worlds and the girls who have just done so well and overcome all that. And it's nothing to those who haven't. I'm not trying to slight anyone or make anybody feel bad about their life decisions. We all go through a lot that nobody knows about, especially on Instagram and social media and stuff. I mean, we all have deaths in the family, and we have fights with our spouses, and we have, issues with kids and work and unrelated stresses, and we all can identify with these things, but we don't, of course, you're not advertising all that stuff. And to those that do, I feel like the competition maybe has been fewer in number, and obviously with some travel restriction and stuff, it's very difficult to make it happen. But the ones that do, and that do go in quarantine, and that have to get these negative tests and make all this stuff happen amidst the rest of their lives and their jobs and their families and working out and trying to eat clean when food's very unavailable. I remember I was eating chicken thighs because I couldn't get chicken breasts for a while, and I was cracking out eggs because there was no egg whites and throwing away the yolks or whatever. And you just account for the fat and the macros, or you do a little extra cardio. You just do what you have to do. I remember being a little kid with my family. We traveled a lot in second, third world countries, and I'm immensely grateful for all that stuff. But I remember being in the slums and just seeing like these little makeshift gyms with cinder blocks and, buckets of cement and buckets of water, and guys getting after it, and it was just hot as hell. And I always thought that was just really cool. It's like, if I lived here, that's what I would do. And I just thought, it's just not about any of the other stuff. That's nice. There's no reason why you wouldn't make it easier on yourself if you could. But if you're going to get it done, you're going to get it done. It doesn't matter what you have. You're going to make what you have work for you, and you're going to take an optimistic standpoint. And maybe this is relatable, maybe it's not. But, this, I believe, is kind of what it takes to make a champion and to separate the winners from the losers. I think you have to see it that way. And I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that you can necessarily do about that. I would sure give it a try. But, again, just a big props to everybody who made it happen and who's been getting it done in spite of setbacks, because I just really admire that stuff in a person. It suggests about you that you don't make excuses, that you take accountability, that you're not entitled, that you're down to earth, that you work hard, that you're consistent, that you don't blame other people and other things. And I just find all of that stuff really attractive, and those are the people I like. Those are the people that I relate to. And again, you got to step back sometimes and say, hey, can I make it work? Do I really want this? And you just have to get after it. You just have to make it happen. And so for all of you that have made improvements in spite of all of the setbacks, I know my physique has gotten just enormously better during this time. And I think some of those challenges, they just light a fire under me. It just makes me excited to, I know that there's other people that aren't going to go through that. And so I feel like that gives me an edge where I can, eke out some competitors that might, that might be a little bit more formidable because they have everything at their disposal. And when they don't, they're not willing to go to that place. And that's really what I just love about bodybuilding or the gym or whatever you want to call it, is that translatable grit that you can apply to anything else in life. You have been to such a hard mental and physical place for so long that, work is no problem. Dealing with others and stresses is just not a problem because you've conditioned yourself to adapt and to deal with that kind of thing. So anyway, guys, that's my little message for the day. Stay tuned. For those of you that are curious, I was very, very close to the top 5. I got a lot of extra call-outs. There was, some debate as always. And, hey, I turned pro a year ago, and now I'm unquestionably top 10 in the world. And I'm very happy with that. I see this every time. So I see competition. What I get from this is what it does for my mentality. Like I said, it takes you to a place, you challenge yourself, and you can put that towards any other facet of life. I think that is far and away the most valuable thing, more than anything. The next most important thing to me is the physique improvement. That's your trophy. You used to look like that, now you look like this. You walk around with that all day long, regardless of whether or not you turned pro, or if you won, or if you have a trophy or a medal. So that doesn't mean anything. That's a nice little bonus. But that is not why I do this, and I don't think it's why a lot of people do it. That's your enhanced physique is the trophy, beyond the mentality, much more importantly. And then finally, it's just a fun time. It's a great experience, great like-minded people who bust their asses, have a very fun time, new location. You can bring along your loved ones and have a great time. I had my anniversary there. My wife flew in the night of the show. It was a blast. And I like to make a little vacation out of it and go and have some fun afterwards and explore new areas. So ultimately, you need to realize it's a subjective sport. I don't really want to get into it, but of course, in life, there's just politicking that occurs. And you have to know that any sport where you're being judged, it's going to be subjective. You're going to have your friends and family tell you that you look great, and you're going to have people that hate you tell you that you look shitty. And you just have to be confident with what you did. And for me, I feel very confident because I've prepared well. I see actual improvement, and I just bring my best and I go out and have a fun time. And I don't have any expectations. I try to do my very best. I love to win. Don't get me wrong. I go to win every damn time. But I don't know. When I turned pro, that's great. I didn't know I was going to. I didn't know I was going to win. I tried very hard to do both. I remember. And it worked out for me. I went on to the U.S. Championships a few months later because I felt like, hey, why not? Let's see where I stack up in the U.S. That's pretty cool. That would be quite an achievement if it was anywhere high. Wound up getting third. Again, I didn't expect anything, and I was very happy with that result. Then I went on. I said I really want to just win a pro show. And I did the Bahamas, became an international pro champion, won that show. And then I said, hey, why would you ever set your sights any lower than the very top? No matter what, you're going to max your potential if your eyes are on the peak. And I went into Worlds. I had no intention of going to Worlds. I knew I really needed a good year at least to build my body up to where I felt that I would have a real great shot at winning. And you know what? Being in the top 10 in the world after a year of being pro is not the worst thing in the world. And I'm very happy with it, and I'm also very fueled to go in there and kick some ass next year and improve my placing. And I know I will because I have been in a deficit for 2 years. Competing. But each time I go out and I set out what I set out to do. I go and get what I set out to do. It's been an improvement every time. I don't regret any of the shows. And my physique has improved dramatically. And I know if I have a year to rest, to feed, to grow, add quality, lean mass, hold it, chisel away the fat slowly, not shock my body anytime all the while, it's going to be a transformation like you've never seen. So I'm very excited about that. Stay tuned and stay hungry and get after it and stop making excuses because it's all in your head.